It's Saturday the 3rd of June. It's a beautiful morning here. Dexter and I are out for a stroll. And a bit of a game of ball, which I think he's now lost. Anyway, we're out on our stroll, also having a look at some of the hops here. And since the last update, only I think 3 weeks ago, middle of May, and just the start of June, these Goulding plants here have really shot on. May and early June is the time when they do their fastest growing, sometimes up to 6 inches, 12 centimetres, 15 centimetres a day. It's quite incredible how quickly the plants grow around the strings in that clockwise direction. And you can see these Gouldings are just starting to get over the top of the wires now as well, so very good sign. Another month and hopefully they'll be up there, and all of the plants will be up there and ready to go. That's a good sign. End of June we usually want all the plants to be over the top, so these are well developed. Couple of problems have been coming in over the last few weeks, couple of weeks since we updated you. One of those is aphid. Not sure if we can see any aphids on these, but they have been sprayed for aphid, I think now. There's one or two on that leaf there, and one or two, you see the little dots on the aphids there, on the leaves there. But these have been quite a lot, coming in quite heavily the last couple of weeks, and so there's been some preventative sprays going on just to try and keep them off. We've also seen quite a bit of powdery mildew. The warm, humid conditions are ideal for powdery mildew. The fungus really likes that damp, warm condition. There are some growers who are reporting that the problem is quite serious. Where they haven't been able to get on and spray with the preventative, they're now going on with the eradicants, which are a little bit more aggressive. But they seem to be under control mostly. That's in the Gouldings. We're going to have a look at some other hops. Well, we've now walked down to the baby jester plants. These were planted last year, June, July time last year. And just to show the aphid again, these are the aphid that fly in. These will start laying eggs and can produce thousands of eggs in a couple of days. So it's very important to make sure these don't get too prevalent. They can cause quite a lot of damage to the plant. You see in the jester here though, the plants are looking very well. We've had a rain overnight, and this patch over to the right here is where the olecana is going to grow. Going to be planted later on this month, or perhaps even early next month. And these are this is the plants have been cut from other plants. If you look in the bottom of these jester, you can see there's these bits that come out the side here, which are can be cut and planted into pots, and these will grow on in peat, and then those peat pots will be planted out. So that's the way we propagate and keep the varieties true to type. Those varieties will remain true to type because they're clones of the original parent. While we're talking about rain, there was a bit of a problem in the week. We had a bit of an issue in Slovenia. We haven't had the full details through yet, but there's been some quite heavy hailstorms in the Petrocha area near Jalets, and we believe about 150 hectares has been affected quite severely. The hailstorm, obviously on these delicate plants, if it starts hailing really heavily, can cause quite significant damage. But we'll try and keep you updated on that as well. We now just walked on to the Pilgrim trial, and I say trial, it's a bit more of a trying to boost these plants on the right hand side here. This row on the right and all the plants to the right of it were very weak last year, and they've been left without too much burning back, and the ones on the left have been burnt back quite hard. And as you can see, there's very little difference between the two lots of plants now. So I think that leaving these right hand side ones earlier on has done the trick, got them back into where they want to be, into the sort of growth patterns. They're a bit variable. There's some very tall ones, and there's some only halfway up, or even not even halfway up the strings, but hopefully that'll catch up as we go through the season. boy. All the way down in the bottom of the Pilgrim here, just have a quick look at the burning off regime. So a lot of these shoots coming in the bottom, we don't really need those. We want to get all the power into all the nutrients going into the shoots that have gone up the strings. All this extra growth is really just taking nourishment away from the plants on the strings or the shoots on the strings. So these are burned off just to get rid of any pests and disease that might harbour in the bottom there. It gets very leafy and very green, and that is not ideal for build up of pests and disease. But just a way of keeping the crop clean at the bottom, and as we go through the season, the burning off will get higher and higher, so that eventually it'll be sort of 2-3 feet off the floor, and that'll give the growers a little bit of room to get the picking machine in as well, the hot bind puller, which makes the job a whole lot easier if you haven't got a lot of leaf and strig catching into the mechanism there. That's a quick update on the Pilgrim. Well, we've now made our way down to the hedgerow varieties. Dexter's very patiently waiting for me to throw his ball. No, he's not. Good boy, there we go. But just in the hedgerow here, we've got two varieties. On the left hand side, Sovereign, which you can see is much further on than the variety on the right hand side, which is the Endeavour. And I think we've explained this before, the Endeavour has American parentage, and so they usually have a lot more heat and good weather to force the plants on quicker, and they tend to be a little bit later when we cross them with plants here. The plants tend to take longer to grow. They don't have the heat and the warmth, which slows them down a bit, and they tend to be picked right at the end of harvest, later on in the harvest time. So the Sovereign on the left, they're more traditional, very much in that English traditional style, bit of sort of Fuggle and Goulding type aroma to them. You see they're nearly at the top, and some are over the top of the wires there, whereas the Endeavour aren't very close at all. These are growing well. Again, just a few hints of aphid in there, and also powdery mildew, but looking very well. For this time of year, they're probably a bit further on than normal. Held back very early on by the cold and dry weather, but now we've had some rain and some sunshine, they really are motoring on. So good to see, good update this morning. And just before we finish our walk this morning, we'll just say hi to the neighbours. These guys were trying to get into my garden last weekend, but managed to keep them out, thank goodness. They've been here 3 or 4 weeks now, and looking very healthy, enjoying the nice sunshine this morning. Taking quite a bit of interest in Dexter, or is it his ball? I'm not quite sure.